everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Illuminutty podcast. I'm going to start off today by touching on some recruiting stuff like we always do. We had a listener request on a recruiting video yesterday to talk about Tyson Swan, so I'm going to start off with him and then hit on what Larry Johnson and all the coaches are doing on the recruiting front. Tyson Swan is really special and has the versatility to come off the edge or move inside if his body grows. He's listed at 6'4", 245. He's a man and child at his competition level at Henry E. Lackey High School in Indian Head, Maryland. But what I really like about him is we're able to really make an impression on guys like him really recently. We got Marcus Fakatu in 2027. By the way, if anyone didn't know, Marcus reclassified from the 2028 class, so to be that advanced technique-wise already and be already committed and just ready to get going for Ohio State, that's tremendous. And to make an impression on a guy like Tyson Swan and Carlos May and just what Larry Johnson is doing is tremendous. And we got these guys that are huge, powerful, strong, and everything that you could want showing interest. We got Kellen Hall and Jamil Weiss really interested in the program. I've been high on Jamil Weiss since like the 8th grade. I talked about him in my very first YouTube video I ever did. I was a huge fan of him and his brother when they were coming out, so I'm really excited to see what Larry Johnson is doing, and I said it in the comments of that recruiting video. Anybody bad-mouthing Larry Johnson now is going to catch hands and wheelchair tires because he's just on another level. He's beat Father Time, and it's really great to see. I think it's funny how the people that used to recruit against him because of his age, most all the coaches they were covering before, like Nick Saban and stuff, have already retired, and Larry's still going strong. So I think he should be able to name whatever time he wants to retire. I mean, if we can get just a few of the guys I named, that would be a legendary haul to go with the guys in 2027 we already have, which I think this is probably going to be the best D-line class we've seen in probably, I don't know, a decade. What are your thoughts, Eric?
Well, first off, you hit the nail on the head, Mika. Larry Johnson gets to tell us when he's done. We don't get to tell him when he's done. I call him the living legend for a reason. The man is fantastic, and you cracked me up when you said anybody who badmouths Larry Johnson is going to catch hands and wheelchair tires. That's a great line, girl. Um, I I love it, man. I think this class is just special. It's, dare I say, better than the Sawyer JTT class.
I think it is
I think it is.
pure like raw athleticism and versatility. I mean, you got DJ Jacobs, who's very like technically sound. You got Wyatt Smith, who's a little bit more of a raw guy, but is developing at a tremendous rate and has extreme size and just with his ties with his dad and everything, and he's gonna be ready. That's the thing. We're getting guys that are physically ready for college ball pretty much already. All you have to do is tweak like tiny little things technique wise and add to their toolbox, as Larry Johnson calls it, and they could see some time. And with the season getting longer and playoffs and everything, I think you're gonna see more guys see the field earlier. And when you can get guys that are physically ready right out of high school, it's just amazing. And like I said, I don't hear anyone ever hardly talk about the fact that Marcus was originally a 2028 kid and he's that physically polished already. Just the fact that these guys can play so many different positions, so many different fronts. I mean, I can't imagine what Matty P and Larry Johnson are thinking. They're probably like kids on Christmas or in a candy store. Just look at all the toys. Look at all the different ways we can play with them and line them up, and just it's just amazing. Not to mention what we're doing on the offensive line. You can really see that Ryan Day wanted to put emphasis on the trenches these next few classes because the 2027 class is special and we're offering tremendous kids in the 2028 class as well and making strides with them. And I think Arthur Smith is really going to help with that. I mean, and you mentioned maybe doing a dedicated episode on the defensive line recruits later on, so I'll touch on them more later, but I just wanted to make sure that Buckeye Nation realizes how special Larry Johnson is and just how special and dedicated this coaching staff is to getting the type of guys that, you know, can be contributors early. Maybe not like day one starters, but guys that can see and be part of the rotation. Not to say that we're gonna get completely away from developmental guys, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think Jordan Donahue, the receiver that we gotta commit from, is more of a developmental guy, but he's got the traits to really develop into something. So we're still going to be doing that, but to have the type of guys that we're bringing in and to at least be on in the conversation for so many top-rated defensive linemen and offensive linemen is just great. Because I'll be honest, me and Vader talked about this before. We didn't think we'd be able to stack classes as much with the transfer portal and everything being the way that it is, but just goes to show we shouldn't doubt out these coaches either. Now, I know how you feel about us needing more Ohio kids, and I feel the same way too. I do think that if you got a guy that's similarly rated to a national recruit, you should take the Ohio guys first and make them a priority, because that just strengthens the rivalry, it strengthens the culture, it doesn't tick like local coaches off, it shows that you have respect for the high school programs and stuff. And I always worry about that with high school recruiting. Like, if you keep prioritizing national recruits above guys from like Princeton or um, Glenville or St. Edwards or places like that, like, I worry that that bridge is gonna get burned a little bit. But I think Ryan Day does a good job balancing, not overpaying for in-state talent either. I would like to see an increase in Ohio recruits in the next few classes because I think we're really developing guys at a tremendous rate. I mean, I've been watching uh, recruiting film and stuff for years. These next few classes are going to be really, really special. Not to mention the guys we already have signed and on the roster that are developing and be, building their own names and getting ready to build their own legacy at Ohio State. And I'm just excited for Ohio and just recruiting in general. I know people say that recruiting doesn't matter anymore because of the transfer portal and everything, and to an extent, I get it, but I mean, I think the reports of its death are greatly exaggerated because if that were the case, you wouldn't see Ryan Day and these coaches going after these kids so hard. Um, like DGG and his friend, and I'm gonna butcher his name, Jordan Aaron Djala? I'm gonna go with it. Podfather's giving me the thumbs up, so I'm gonna go with it. I want everyone to know I don't think this guy is a scrub. Yes, he's developmental, but even me and TG and Vader talked about it. He's got tremendous traits that you can build on, and anytime you can get a guy like that and it helps not only bolster your roster but can help ease the transition for recruits like DGG to come in and feel more comfortable committing to your program, why not do it? Like, it's a win-win for everybody. I mean, even if uh, Jordan doesn't see the field right away, like, he still gets the development of one of the top programs in college football. We get to profit off his talent, and believe me, with his 6'6" wingspan and instincts and speed, he really could develop into something. People slept on Leroy Roku, and he's making noise now. And his only other big offer was for Iowa. I think when we recruited him, he only had one offer, and that was to Iowa. And he's already making noise. Jalen McLean was a three-star first, and he's everyone talks about him. I think he's getting ready to be a household name. So I don't like people that say, "Oh, we just offered this kid to get on in with DGG." Yes, that's a part of it, but that's not the sole part of it. Ohio State isn't in the business of just handing out offers just to hand out offers. Like I said earlier in the video, if these guys can play here, we're going to find them. Now, that may entail them going somewhere else first and then entering the portal and us getting a second look at the tape, but we will find the right guys. Do I wish there were more Ohio guys? in this class, yeah, I don't think 5 was enough, but I have faith that we got the right types of guys, and I have faith that Lion Day is going to see the next couple classes and see what's developing and be like, oh yeah, we got to get some more of that, especially given the recruiting heater and the offers that the team up north is putting out to Ohio guys and places like Penn State targeting Ohio guys, Michigan State. I mean, there's programs all around us circling in the water like sharks. Northwestern, I know you, Podfather, we've talked about Northwestern on a lot of previous videos when you did a recruiting video, and it felt like every other guy you mentioned was either committed to Michigan State, Penn State, or Northwestern. I think you had like 3 in a row committed to Northwestern. So what Chip Kelly and all them are doing at Northwestern, and Patty Fitz and Matt Campbell, they're not going to rest on their laurels and just let Ohio talent pass them by just because, you know, it's it's Ohio State territory, and they know what we know when we talk about Georgia and Florida and Texas recruits. Ohio State cannot take them all, and with Ohio State being such a national prominent brand, I mean, why not? If I was an outside coach at a place that's trying to form a name for itself and located near all these kids, I'd want to jump in too and see how many fish I can get in my boat. Like, it's just a smart strategy, and a lot of these guys and coaches that I mentioned already have Ohio ties anyway, so might as well take advantage of it. I mean, and I just hate seeing guys go to the team up north. I know everyone in Buckeye Nation hates that. It bothers me, especially when it's guys from like Princeton and stuff like that, like Monsana Torbert. I really thought that he could be something for us. Now he needs to bulk up and everything, but he really had tremendous athleticism and just, and if he was bigger, he honestly could have been a quarterback option, I think, for us, because he can really spin it. I encourage anyone to go and watch his tape, even though he's committed to the enemy now. Like, the ball jumps off his hands. He's not a scrub when it comes to athleticism and his mechanics and ability to throw the ball. Not to mention, Keyshawn, his little brother, is very similar from an athletic standpoint. He's a little thicker too right now, I think. So he might even be more college ready. I just hope that when all is said and done, that Monsana's decision doesn't come back to bite us in the long run. Like I said, I think we're in a good spot for Jordan DDT is what I'm gonna JDDT is what I'm gonna call him. Goes well with DGG, so that's what he's gonna be to me from now on, because it's hard to say that name. I don't think JDDT is a scrub, and I think he might be the option that we get to fill the spot for Monsana Torbert. But I hate seeing a guy from a great program like Princeton go to the enemy like that. And hats off to Kelly Collins for making that happen, because from everything I've heard, that was a big part of the decision. I really, really am not a big fan of Kelly's right now, because I just don't like coaches that uh, expect these kids to take these rivalries seriously and then go and jump over to the other side and just make it into, oh, well, I had to take it because I felt slighted, or I had to take it because it was better money and stuff like that. You can't expect these kids to take these rivalries seriously when the coaches themselves don't feel it. What are your thoughts, Podfather?
So you know how much I can't stand this topic about we don't need Ohio kids. Bart and I have almost come to blows over this topic.
Yep,
Um, I think you have to dance a fine line between recruiting nationally and ignoring your backyard. Because if you ignore your backyard too much, when you need your backyard or your backyard is producing at an amazing level to where it would benefit you greatly, and then you go to that backyard and they feel slighted because you've ignored them so much, you are taking away your home base.
yep.
And that's a dangerous thing to do. And if you don't believe me, ask Nebraska. Nebraska struggles to recruit Nebraska. Why? Now I understand Nebraska's not even in the same stratosphere as Ohio. I get that. But the top kids in Nebraska don't go to Nebraska anymore. And you want to talk about a school that needs those kids more? Nebraska needs their state kids more than we need our kids, because they don't have a national recruiting base anymore. So this is a dangerous area Ryan Day is getting into, and I caution him that if you continue escalating this, not only is Michigan State, Northwestern, Penn State going to take a foothold in the state of Ohio, but like you mentioned, Michigan with Kerry Combs and Cincinnati, you're losing too many of the top kids. And Chris made this point the other day as well, and it didn't seem like it was falling on deaf ears with Alex and Bart as well. You cannot do that. It will bite you in the butt eventually.
I mean, yeah, coaches can't help but pay attention to stuff like that on a high school level, I'm sure. Like, you're not, I mean, coaches want their kids to go to places where they're going to be wanted and developed. And when you pass on an Ohio kid for maybe a similarly graded national kid, I'm sure that leaves a sour taste in their mouths. And you gotta be able to respect and cultivate these pipelines. But like I said, these next couple classes in Ohio are loaded. If you want proof, go check out our database on the Ohio Podcast Patreon page. I had to do it, shameless plug, but that's my baby and I'm proud of it. Me and uh, Beta and Podfather put a lot of work into the database. I'm doing evaluations on a daily basis. That's what I was doing this morning before I had my late breakfast. So, guys, please check that out and let me know your thoughts. What are your thoughts on Larry Johnson and what he's doing? What do you think the defense is going to look like? Do you think there's going to be more rotation? Has he officially won the battle with Father Time, or what? I want to hear all your thoughts, how we're doing on a recruiting standpoint, thoughts on uh, JDDT and the DGG situation. I mean, let me know, guys. That's what I love about this show, a chance to interact with you guys and hear your thoughts on all the topics I mentioned in this video and beyond. And if there's a topic you want me to cover, or if you want to come on the show, please let me know. Feel free to reach out. I'd love to have any of you guys on. And if you haven't already, please check out my uh, earlier episode I did with Brutus5199. It's a great perspective on just the fandom and how it affects different types of people, and he did an excellent job with it. And I'm looking forward to having him back on the show in the future. He's a great guy, and I know a lot of people, especially if you listen to like Bucknuts and stuff like that, he's always active in the chats and always has a kind word for everybody. So I want to give Buckeye fans the spotlight on this channel. So if you want to come on and want to talk some ball, it's just a fun conversation to have. I know it can be nerve-wracking for some people. It's still nerve-wracking for me. I get tongue-tied and stuff, and I've been at it for a while, so it's really no big deal. We just like to have fun here and keep your ears out for a very special, very hilarious commercial that's going to premiere on the Ohio Podcast Patreon page, featuring my favorite accessory, tinfoil hats for the Illuminutty podcast. Stay tuned for that, and let me know what you think in the comments. Share, subscribe, and as always, OH!
IO.
Go Bucks, guys. Love you, Buckeye Nation.
See ya.